So allow me to introduce our two Fireside Chat discussion professionals who are coming up to take the stage. Please put your hands together to welcome Marianne Valente, the owner of MyMar SA, excuse me. There she is. And Mohan Raj, the center head, Wholesome Global Hub Business Services. Enjoy. Take it away. Okay.
Morning. I hope this is not a sign that you're all disappointed. No? Okay. Wonderful. So, I'm Marianne. I'm happy to be with Pierre, with Mohan. We have been six. Supposed to be six. This morning, the last person abandoned us. So we are two. And our idea actually was to do a peer group together with you, but we understand that there is the setup. We cannot join you. We would have loved to join at the table and have just a chat together. So, we keep the regie up. And just 2 words to my background. I'm from Switzerland. I have been doing many jobs, from the secretary, cleaning woman, bartender, what else? Model. And at the end, I thought I had to do something serious, and I studied law. But my real passion was always human behavior. Why do we behave in a certain way and cannot easily change it? So that was my mission, and since 14 years now, I live this mission. With MyMark, we developed a personality test, and we will know more about this. And I'm looking forward to have you active participation. We try to involve you to hear your opinion to this very important topic. How can you involve people at the working place?
Thank you, Marianne. My name is Mohan Raj. I'm from India. I work for a company by the name Wholesome. Wholesome is, let's say, one of the market leaders in building material manufacturing. Although it started with cement, now we are into products, solutions, and a number of different products across the globe. Wholesome as an organization is, let's say, 100 years old, and we are close to 30 billion Swiss francs. It's a public company registered in Zurich. I'm based out of India. I primarily lead the Global Capability Center, or what is known as Business Service Center. It's a team of about 500 people, a lovely team based out of Mumbai, India. We work with 26 different countries, starting from New Zealand, Australia, Philippines, and goes up to the United Kingdom. And let's say it also covers 20-odd countries within the Europe. Happy to be here, as Anime rightly mentioned. It was supposed to be a panel discussion, but we are now down to 2, so it's going to be more of a chat, and would appreciate if you guys really kind of participate and make it, let's say, more interactive. Yeah.
Would anybody like to share personal experience, a personal experience?
I'm walking around with the mic.
Working place, not fulfilling. Please.
You got a story? Yeah. Not fulfilling or not effective? Fulfilling.
So I took an opportunity as the head of people and culture. And within 2 weeks, I'm a lady of faith. Within 2 weeks, I felt the energies. It was not good. However, I persevered, I pushed through, but it was a constant battle. It was a constant battle. Even one day on a weekend, I went in and I touched every threshold and I prayed over every cubicle because it was that intense. At the end of the day, I bowed out because it's very important to me the association and the organization that I work for, that it's not a one way, that it's reciprocated, that I am giving, I am receiving, and it's positive and healthy. I do believe there are many reasons people get cancer. I believe mental health is very important. So that was one example of where I had to make a change.
Thank you for sharing.
Fantastic. I would catch up with giving and receiving. So this could be the key, giving and receiving. And why do you think this doesn't work often in the working place?
Selfish? I think sometimes people are selfish. I was sharing with Obi and his wife. I was speaking to a gentleman last night at the end of the day, and, just asking him to reframe. Everybody has different passions, different needs. Mine is more about the human need as an HR professional. And so he was more of a revenue person, and just saying, hey, I completely get the data, because I shared with Paul, data is great. We need data. It's not as high energy as, cross-culture teams or negotiating. And I could still receive and find what I could and keep moving forward. But I find sometimes people are so focused on the numbers, they're so focused on meeting their objectives, that they miss the trees in the forest. And they're so focused on them and their needs that they're not able to focus on the whole team.
I think there's no harm in focusing on self, right? I mean, self-development is definitely an important thing. But I think it's also about, let's say, looking at people around you, right? I mean, one is, let's say, to understand who you are, where you come from, and how do you really kind of, let's say, work with the team and work for the, let's say, bigger cause, which I think is a very important thing. If people look at, let's say, understanding both sides of the coin, and if they're able to balance, I think they make a great team member. And let's say it will definitely kind of make the organization a lot more brighter. That's my view.
Other opinions?
Come in. Get you first over here. Thank you so much for sharing. Are you really? Okay. Okay.
He's a gentleman.
I was going in a row,
In my previous life, where we worked in one of the corporations in Hawaii, and that corporation is locally owned, and it has been established for more than 40 years. And when 9/11 hit, our owners, he contributed his own pocket money and then established a store that is putting all the necessities like pamper, rice, and all that in that store. For those of the team member who get cut on their hours, they could use those hours to come and exchange for food in that store. And that store has been open for more than a year. And believe it or not, that company has been established for 40 years, and we do have a team member that worked there from day one of the company. The owners, every day, every morning, he would walk around the property, pick up the rubbish on the floor by himself, and recognize each of the team members by their name, regardless if you are the housekeeper or the managers or the directors. So I think that is where it has to come from the senior that has to distribute that kind of feeling for your team members to know that he is there with you, for you. Yeah.
That's a great testimony.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you for the applause. Yeah, for this example. And I think this has to do with respect also, and to know that every part, every job, every function in a company is important. You cannot do without. I mean, as I said, I have been a cleaning woman when I was in England to learn English, and I saw, wow, how important this is, that we have cleaning personnel, and so on. So this is a key, according to to understand we need everybody, we need every function, but it's not a question of better or worse, or higher or lower value. No, it's a question that it doesn't function if we are not a team and we do not respect and value each member of the team, which means each member of the company.
I love that. Okay, gentleman over here. What would you like to say?
So, good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Ferguson. I did all that yesterday, so I'll be asking questions later. About 6 years ago, I'd spent maybe a whole year putting a deal together with a big industrial conglomerate based in Mumbai, in India. We won the deal, and the project was started down in a big steel plant in the south of India. And it turned out that all this hard work that I'd done with the headquarters and with the plant operations management and finance and everybody else, it turned out that people down at the plant were contributing their fullest, but unfortunately their fullest contribution was every waking moment trying to kill the project, because they were worried that as soon as this system went live, they would all lose their job. So really nobody was contributing their fullest to the job or the project or anything else. They were just looking to kill the project. Our project manager, he was a lovely guy. He understood the technology inside out, but he couldn't spell people. He couldn't spell emotional intelligence. And unfortunately, he was trying to ram the project into the business. Business didn't want it. So I had to get on a plane from Mumbai down to Bangalore, get in a taxi for 5 hours across country down to the plant, and spent a lot of time with the individuals on the project, just like you said, to try and meet the people. Forget the technology, forget the project. Let's just make friends. Let's go and have a cup of tea. You guys like a cigarette, so let's go and talk while you're having a cigarette. Let's talk. Tell me about your family. Tell me about your kids, your work. How is it going? All that stuff. Build some relationship. And when you have a relationship, then you can start to help people understand what's the purpose of the project, and what does it do for the business, and what does it do for you as an individual. And if you get it right for the individuals, they will then start to work together to make the project work. And that took about 3 weeks to do that with all the different stakeholders in the plant. And eventually they started to come round, and we had a successful project in the end. There's much more to the story, but I'll send you all to sleep if I carry on. So that's my story.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Mark. I think with that note, I would like to kind of share my experience, right? I mean, as I mentioned, I work with a team of about 500 people based out of India. And one of the key learnings over the years of my experience is, let's say, people are the key, right? I mean, if you are able to connect, if you are able to, let's say, understand them, get their buy-in, I think you become a true leader and the mission is accomplished. That's basically what I've been doing over the, let's say, last 10 years, a little over a decade, being in leadership position. And it definitely delivers results, right? I mean, I've been, let's say, the head of the center in Mumbai now for close to 3 years, and I have 10 people reporting to me directly. And every time, let's say, people work with India, they talk about attrition, right? I mean, people turnover. That's always been a challenge. And the industry that I come from, Global Capability Center, has a 20% attrition year on year, which is the industry standard in India. And I have had zero attrition in the leadership team for the last 3 years. So that's basically was possible because of the connect and let's say that you're able to give out the message that, let's say, we care for you and we are here for you. And that's something that I wanted to kind of share.
Wonderful examples. Why is it so difficult? I mean, the title of this whole year is Change the Game. Why is it so difficult to change the game in corporations? You said it before. There are numbers. They're just looking for numbers. But we need to make numbers. We need to make money as a company, as a corporation. So this is a constant dilemma. Success in the sense of material success and people success, team success, encouraging, empowering people. So why is it so difficult? Because the senior managers in general are the ones who represent the numbers. They make the career because they fulfill the expectations of the shareholders to make profit. So how do we start with this? My opinion is we have to start as an employee to tell what we want and need to be to feel fulfilled. And we have to start to challenge the managers and not just keep quiet. And then, okay, if I say my opinion, probably they will fire me. And then we'll never change the game. So it has to be, everybody has to be responsible to contribute that the game is changing, but we consider and recognize that every function is needed. We need the figure guys, the number guys, we need them. But stop them if they don't respect the others.
Rachel, there's a question there.
Coming along. Can't wait to hear. What about your personal journey?
Yeah. Very good morning to all. I'm Avdut from Mumbai, India. So, very interesting to listen to the thoughts which you all presented. So, my personal experience, which I would like to share, is, when we talk about, as you rightly said, at the top we always look about numbers, because that is what we normally know organizations for delivering and growth and all those percentages, right? But somewhere to the core, we forget that it is the people which are working are most important. Now, by this, I do not mean only the top. Each and every person working in the company is, how do you make them feel that they are part of it or they are really respected? Many times we put such, teamwork and all those jargons, but then it boils down to whether your organization culture really means what you have taken, all those values, what we have defined. And that makes the difference. So I have been fortunate to be a part of an organization which I co-founded, and we had 50,000 employees. Now you can imagine how difficult it is when it is, and there, as you rightly said, manpower is your basic raw material. So especially if you are in a service industry, so manpower is your main core raw material, right? So we believed in respecting each and every person, as you rightly said, giving them the freedom to voice out what they feel. And we set certain basic principles in the conference room and in meetings, that everyone is given an opportunity to voice out his own suggestion, whatever small it can be. Nobody should be stopped. And yes, lastly, I don't feel we are ever possible to take contribution to the fullest out of anyone. That's something which is impossible. To what best we can get is the only important thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, let's say, your experience. Yeah.
I like to shout out Hilton Worldwide. I worked for them indirectly through a hospitality management company. And what I loved about Hilton as an HR professional, they're very deliberate on their mission. They're deliberate on their vision. Not only do they have a vision and a mission, but each hotel, whether it's a Hilton or an Embassy or a Homewood or a Hilton Garden Inn or a Conrad, there's so many different personalities to each particular brand. They empowered human resources to make sure that we selected. It starts in the recruiting process. Are we bringing on people who are high achievers, who are hungry, who want to learn and grow, who have the temperament of teamwork? Right? And then I was just blown away at Hilton, who would pay a housekeeper her salary to go back to the Dominican Republic as we pioneered the global soap project. So we all just stayed in hotels. And as you can see in my hotel, as many hotels, I am not staying in this particular hotel, but I believe that the standard has changed from having so many bars of soap to having the shower gel so that we're conserving on the product of soap. And so they take even the facial soaps, bars that aren't used, and they keep them even after the guest checks out, and they collect the soap. They sterilize the soap, they remold the soap and send it to different areas that need soap. For example, the Dominican Republic. And that one particular housekeeper, they paid her to go on a sabbatical to her country that lacked in resources. So when an organization is more than just the bottom line and they have a purpose driven to the global cause, you can bet your bottom dollar the retention is amazing. That lady probably will work for Hilton forever. Here I am. I'm not staying at the conference. I'm staying at a Hilton property because I have the family and friends discount for a lifetime because of the over 10 years that I've put in there. So I think when it comes to people contributing to their fullest and senior leadership contributing to the full workplace, it really takes a high value, intelligent, empathetic person who's able to look at all stakeholders, able to look at it all, the numbers, the people, the culture, the environment. Is it psychologically safe? You know, there's so many things that we should look at. I'm just wanted to shout out Hilton Worldwide.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We have 10 minutes left. Let's talk about, yes, I'll come back to you. Let's talk about how can we concretely change the game? Where do we have to start? Ideas?
Okay. First of all, before getting back to that question, I want to share an experience that we do have C-level team member before, and he's head of the marketing. He's a very, very people person. He took every single chance that he has, taking his team out, drinking, having party and all that. However, he did not deliver the sales. So for me, as a leader, yes, you have to be a very people person, but you also have to strike where you stand in terms of business and not to carry over on the people side. Because there's a very, very, thin boundary between too personal and forget about who are you in the business world. So that is, what I want to carry out. And for your questions, I think that also, what I mentioned before that, we do as a leader, we do have to know where we stand in terms of business and where we stand in terms of a bridge between the company and our people. That is where we could pull out what we would need from our team member to fulfill it.
Concrete measures, concrete interventions. Any?
Morning. So, Obi Abuchi, I run Core Leaders International. In terms of concrete measures, one of the things that comes to mind is asking ourselves the question, what's our paradigm about how we view the game. And what I mean is, we talk about numbers, and sometimes people say, oh yeah, we shouldn't focus on numbers. But we know numbers are important. Absolutely. If we don't deliver our numbers, then we can't pay our people. So let's not pretend the numbers aren't important. I think what we're talking about is, how do we go about achieving those numbers? And do we burn people out in the process, or do we look after them? And I think that we change the game by changing what game we're playing. I see leaders play two different games. They're in two different camps. One is the ego game, which is where it's about me. So the people around, they serve me. I'm at the top here. I deal with the investors. I deal with shareholders because I'm the big dog. And then there are leaders who play the service game, who say, I'm here to enable my people. I'm here to serve the community. I'm here to serve our customers. I'm here to serve the world. The ego game is driven by fear. The service game is driven by purpose. I think when we start playing the service game as leaders, then we will develop more of the potential of our people. It will be a more fulfilling workplace. People will get behind the purpose, the drive, the vision, like you shared, Mohan. So I think that's part of what we need to do. Switch the game that we are playing from the ego game to the service game.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Well said.
that. Got another comment?
Thank you. Paul William Baird Sr. with Baird Enterprises. I was just going to piggyback on what he just shared. In the servant leadership, it requires the leader to listen. I remember I came onto a job in education. I was the dean of business. I got to the campus, took a walk through the labs, and saw all the computer labs were outdated or broken. The governor had put a spending freeze for all public institutions. I went into my chancellor's office on the first day on that campus and said we had to cancel all the computer classes. And she said, what? I said, yes, we had to cancel all the computer classes because we're going to be faced with lawsuits. For what? Because we were not fulfilled on the contract that the student has to have computer skills that they can use in the workforce, because you can't teach computing in lectures. And she said, well, why didn't anybody tell me? Well, they said you wouldn't listen because the governor had a spending freeze. She said, somebody should have told me because I have a slush fund for emergencies. Get me requisitions today. Our division was the only one that had new computers going on 3 campuses doing a spending freeze, and that faculty will walk through doors. The other divisions, it created chaos because the other division faculty were asking their leader, why didn't you do that for us? And they're coming to me to ask me to do that for them. My point is that when you hear what's missing or see what's missing, be bold, take action that let them know that you care about them and how they're represented with the people they serve.
Yeah, great. You remind me when they asked Nelson Mandela, what is a good leader? And he said, a good leader speaks last. And this is exactly the point. You said it, there's the me person. But what my experience is with teamwork, with leaders, doing my job as a business and mental coach, is that the people who talk always, they think they know what is best for everybody. And they're genuinely convinced that they know. They genuinely, no really, this for me was just, what? She really believes to know what is good for you, what is good for you, and so on. So this is, I think, concrete measure I ask. One of the measures is, don't talk. You have to force the team leader to zip the lip. Listen to the others. Let's talk the others. And the only way is dip the lip. Okay? So this is going to, but you have to speak up as a team member that let me talk now. And this takes courage. Do we learn this at home?
No.
How many learned at home to speak up?
No. Well, it depends
Okay?
on your
so
home.
It starts in our private life, in our personal life. And then that's, the corporations are just the result, the mirror of what in general, people have the courage or not to speak up. Okay. Thank you. I'm so happy you gave an important contribution. Thank you for it. Please.
Yeah, thank you for being wonderful audience and for participating really well. Thank you guys. Yeah.